Well, hello.
Hello.
Welcome,
Hi.
Thank
Jennie and Deena.
Hi, Erin. So fun to be here.
I'm yes, I'm very, very excited to have both of you here. This is the first time, as I was saying before we got started, that I've had two people on here. And individually, you're both amazing, but together, you are a powerhouse. And that's what we're here to talk about today,
Thank you.
is what we can do in order to make two individual things or multiple individual things greater than the sum of their parts as far as how we deliver for clients. Um, and you have a business model that I love. So I will be completely transparent with the audience right now. I have hired both of these people individually and together. They have made me look way more amazing than I am with my branding, with my website presence, with thinking about the way things are delivered to clients and how to make them feel with experience and journey and story, which obviously is very important to me. And they just get it. And I have talked to other clients that they have, and I am not the only one that feels this way. There's this kind of magic thing that has happened with the two of you and working together. And as we jump into that, I want to show the audience and tell the audience about this and hear from you kind of how this evolved so that they can maybe think about it for their audience about different opportunities that might be right in front of them, people that they love working with, that they maybe haven't thought about working with them in quite the way that you invented in order to make your businesses grow individually and together. Which I think entrepreneurs, even people in the corporate environment, can use this kind of mindset in order to make something better. So before we do that, I want to have each of you introduce yourself a little bit. Jennie, let's start with you.
Yeah, so my name's Jennie Lakenan, and I dub myself the website consultant for coaches, which really just means that I do web design and development for life coaches, and it's super fun.
And Deena, how about you?
I am a brand designer for life coaches. I am a life coach, and I love life coaches and just want to help them get out there and get their messages out. And I found that me being able to help them like look amazing online and just it helps to multiply what they already have to offer, and it gives them some confidence to get out there and start showcasing what they can do for their clients and just giving them that confidence that they need to move forward.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
it is a bit of a dream team between the two of you.
Mhm.
Like the skill set that you have, Jennie, in web design and the way that you think about customer experience flow was super helpful to me for my business. And Deena, with you, the way that I saw that you thought about the brand presence and the way that you thought about color and tone and font, like you wanted everything to be cohesive. And you also packaged it up in such a way that was really easy for me to be able to hand to my team members, to be able to use for me, to make it really accessible and usable. Uh, and so that's some of the things that I appreciated about working with both of you when I did earlier this year.
Well, thanks.
Uh, Tell me a little bit about how did you two individually start working in the fields that you did, because both of you have a really interesting journey where you both have these skill sets that are amazing, kind of these superpowers, but you also became certified life coaches, and then you use these skills in order to help that particular market. How did that evolve for you individually? Like Jennie, for you, were you already a web developer and designer before you even went on that journey with life coaching?
Yeah, so I was actually a stay-at-home mom.
Uh-huh.
And I had some experience in web development, like I knew, code and HTML and
Oh,
CSS and
just
stuff
some
like that.
stuff.
Yeah, that's
Awesome things.
mhm.
Okay. I love
Like
how she
enough
undersells.
excuse me, enough to be dangerous is kind of the way that I say it, but not enough to like be like, "Oh yeah, I could start a web design business easy."
Mm.
And but what happened was I found coaching and I started like applying the principles and it really changed. Sorry, I have like a thing tickle in my throat. Applying these principles really changed my life and for the better. And just my relationships improved and I
Mm.
lost weight and like I just felt better. Um, And I thought, this is awesome. I'm going to be a life coach. Like, I want to help other people achieve this too. And while I was like kind of pursuing coaching and working my way towards certification and meeting, I decided I want to meet as many coaches as I can in the online space just to learn their experience and, what is it like to be a life coach? And I very quickly realized that either they didn't have websites or their websites were just not a good representation of like the quality of
Yeah.
coach that they were.
Yep.
And I just decided that's a problem that I want to solve.
I love that. I love how you allowed yourself to start doing one thing and going towards one thing, but not holding on to it
Mhm,
so tightly that you didn't allow for other possibilities to emerge
mhm.
from that. And I think I have
Exactly.
seen other people, not just life coaching, but entrepreneurs, if they are focused just with blinders on one product and one way that it can be delivered, they can get their product out there. And then when it doesn't hit the first time, they give up because they're like, it has to be delivered in just this way that I envisioned at the beginning, or I failed. And so I think it's really
Mhm.
interesting that you were like, wait a second, all these things helped me, and I know this audience now, and I have this skill set, and they seem to really need it. Because some of
Yeah,
these
they really
websites
did.
look really janky.
Yeah, and I was like, "That's not okay. Some of you have spent literally tens of thousands of
Mm,
dollars on your trainings, and your website, it does not reflect that, and that's a problem." And so I I I decided I'm gonna start doing websites for coaches and, eventually I'll certify and I'm sure I'll pivot into coaching at that point,
mhm.
but by the time I certified, I was like, "I love web design and I have this beautiful business. Why would I set it aside and start a new business that I'm not even sure I would like love doing right now? And let's just go in all in on the web design." So I've stuck with that. And I figure, in 5 or 10 years when my web design business is like a smooth machine and I'm not really in the day-to-day very much, that I'll probably be ready to start moving into coaching as well. And by that point I'll be coaching, young agency owners like myself that are wanting to really grow their businesses and I'll be able to help them with that. So,
Isn't it
yeah.
so funny how we think that if we're not just coaching on, I know specifically for the coaching industry, and you can apply this obviously in different areas of business as well, whether what kind of service you're selling or product you're selling that you might be doing, it could be very different than coaching, but that if you allow for the fact that you can use your area of genius in lots of different ways. For instance, I bet Jennie and Deena, both of you, in fact, I know this because I was the client and you had to deal with my messy brain. Even though I'm a coach, the value of coaching is having someone else look at your brain from the outside because you can't see the forest through the trees a lot of times. And so I bet you were finding, both of you, lots of instances where, wait a second, I'm coaching my face off all the time in
Yeah.
the lens of
Absolutely.
they have drama about how they're showing up for their design or their branding or what it should look like,
Mhm.
or maybe especially with design, both of you have this impact with design, but Deena, especially with you, people can have some imposter syndrome maybe there, like, am I this person that Deena's making me look like? Am I ready to look this good? Am I ready to put myself out there and let people see me and go all in on myself? Like,
Mhm.
that can be scary to people that are starting a new career or starting a new chapter of their life.
Yeah.
I bet you find instances for coaching there. Do you?
I would say for sure, yeah.
Absolutely.
When Jenny was saying she's not a coach, I was thinking,
Absolutely.
yeah, you're already
Mhm.
coaching a lot better.
Sure.
Yeah. I think the most valuable skill is the holding
Mm.
space, like you said, which is that's a phrase that we use sometimes in the coaching world, which
Yes.
really just means like my ability to let my client think whatever they need to think and be messy, and I don't make it mean anything about
Mhm.
me, and I just like listen and and just not jump in the pool and be messy too, and like and want to make them feel better. Like my ability to hold that space for them, I think is, I mean, that's the skill I think I use the most. What
I
do
was
you
just
think,
gonna
Dina?
say also just, like, even if you are having some of that drama, just moving forward and clicking the pay button so you can get your website out there and, live is a really scary
Yeah.
thing for people, but, like, once you make that step, you go through that, it feels a little scary, but then you can start to believe in yourself more just moving forward taking some action even though you feel some of that fear, and to move forward. I think, like, that's a really fun part of our job is just, like, "It's gonna be okay. Like, you're doing a great job. Like, you look amazing. This looks amazing. Like, you were doing this for other people so that they can find you, so you can help them. Like, let's keep all of that in perspective, and it's worth a little bit of that fear and that imposter syndrome or whatever it is." Just kinda, like, cheering them on. I think Jenny and I are both really good at doing that too.
Oh, you are. And I was just thinking, like, how amazing would it be if in lots of areas of our lives, when we were working with people, whether they're building a website, helping with branding, getting working with a bookkeeper, like all these different areas that as entrepreneurs and business owners that we work with, marketers, whatever, that they had some sort of coach training
Mhm,
or ability to, as Jenny was pointing out, hold space, which is the term we use for like kind of staying neutral and knowing that this person is processing something and not making it mean anything about us.
mhm,
Really just staying result focused and helping them. Especially, my business has those two parts. It has the coaching and training part of it,
mm,
and then it has a traditional, what people would consider a traditional video marketing firm
mhm,
for enterprise software companies. Like it's pretty like can be seen as very separate, but I find all kinds of opportunities where they inform each other, especially the coaching,
mhm,
because I did used to make it, to Jenny's point, a lot about me. Like I would get pissed off that they didn't like V2 or V3
mhm,
because we think it's really good and you
mhm.
should use it.
Right.
And they have a silly thing to say about the color of the shirt or something. I'm like, why are you concentrating on the color of the shirt? We landed the message for your audience. They're going to click bot. Like
Mhm,
I would get so caught up in my own brain drama that I wasn't holding space for them and just like asking questions about what that was about and why does that shirt not need to be red, and okay,
mhm.
what's the result you're trying to get, that would have been much more productive
Right.
of younger Aaron to do.
Mm. Yeah.
And so yeah, I think it could be very, very valuable.
Mhm.
So individually, you both had this journey. Whose idea was it to start working together? Because I think that you may have started a trend because I'm seeing it happen in other places. So I'm curious to see how it came about for both of you.
Well,
You'd
yeah.
probably be surprised,
Oh,
Erin,
really?
to hear who it
Well,
was.
I'm wanting to hear Jenny's side of the story, but I was gonna say that, like, when Jenny's telling her story about how she found life coaching and her life was changed and, getting into that, wanting to be a life coach, like, I was doing the same thing. Actually, Erin and I were in the same cohort together, um,
It's true.
doing our training, um, but I saw the same thing. Like, I had been a graphic designer for 20 years, and
Hmm.
took on the life coaching as something I was gonna do. I would do life coaching half the time and keep my designing half the time. And then when I saw, like, an interesting way that I could help other life coaches and saw what they were putting out there and how they could, what they could do, like, I felt the same way with
She's
Jenny.
being so kind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was
What they were putting
interesting.
out there didn't look
Yeah,
good.
yeah. But Jenny and I, at the same time, without even knowing each other, at the literal same time, were having these discoveries and I was getting into branding for life coaches. So I started working with a couple of clients and they said they were getting their website done. And I said, who's doing the website? Both of them separately had said they're working with Jennie Lakenan. So when I found that out, I was like, I might want to meet this person and see, like, maybe we could, like, figure out something we could do together. And it was just kind of magic like that. And it has been ever
Yeah.
since. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Like she just emailed me, I think it was an email, and was like, "Hey, like I'm working with so and so and so and so as well. I think that we should partner up, like where we should talk about it." And so we just got on a Zoom call and we just both felt really good about the possibility of like combining our processes to deliver the website and the brand design at the same time so that our clients could have that experience all in one, and we could consult with each other and give them a better end result than they would get if they worked with either other people
Mhm.
besides us or even just with us separately from each other. And so we just experimented with it. We kind of trialed a couple of clients together, and then I mean that was
Mhm.
2019, early
Yeah.
2019. So
So real talk, what were you possibly individually, I'm totally putting you on the spot right now.
Mm.
What were you possibly having going on in your brains individually as separate business owners as far as fears you might have had? Because I want to surface some of these things because some of these thoughts might be similar for other entrepreneurs that might be listening to this of worries that they might have about bringing someone into their
Mm.
business, basically. Even though they stay separate entities, and a
Mhm.
lot of times, like your case, but like, what were there any thoughts of things you might be afraid of?
I can think of one right off the bat. Autonomy is like one of my core values, and being able
Hmm.
to like make my own decisions in my business. And I love kind of reinventing what I'm doing a lot. So I didn't want to have to partner with someone like so closely that I couldn't like change my mind about different programs that I
Mm,
wanted to do. So staying independent enough that I could continue to grow my business the way I wanted to, but also partner enough where we're serving the client really well, and each of us are growing our businesses in ways that we wanted to, for ourselves. So like really taking care of myself as well as taking care of the clients, and being
mm,
really easy to work with Jennie like that. I wanted to make sure that happened. So yeah, that was for me.
Mhm. Yeah.
it's so
Yep,
true, right?
totally.
Yeah, because you can, as entrepreneurs, especially, I know for me, having been in the corporate world for such a long time, I feel like allergic to the possibility that I
Mhm,
might be locked into something and not be able to reinvent myself or change,
mhm,
and that someone is going to tell me that it has to stay the same now.
mhm,
And so I can absolutely see other entrepreneurs maybe having that as well. That's a lot of times why they become business owners and entrepreneurs, right? They want to steer their own ship.
mhm.
And so I could absolutely see how that thought would enter my brain.
Yeah.
Jenny, did you have anything other
Yeah.
than that?
For me, I think a big thing was reputation.
Mm,
Like, that's something that I think about now when I
mm,
get pitches from people too, is like, I'm so protective of our reputation because I never wanna refer someone to someone like, I've done it a couple of times, I think we all have, where we, like, told our friend about our hairdresser or whatever, and then they go get
I
a
love that
terrible
example.
haircut, and
Yeah.
then you're like, "Oh, I feel so bad," you know? Except this is, like, a bigger deal because it's, like, my business reputation, so I think that is something that I'm really careful of, and, with Deena and I, we were both still pretty in the
Mhm,
beginning, and we didn't have as much of a
mhm,
reputation yet then, and we had mutual clients that spoke well of each other, so like we felt I think that helped us feel comfortable with that in the
Hmm.
mhm,
beginning, but
And a
for sure
common
that's
approach through coaching as well.
mhm.
mhm.
That
That
flavor
was
must have
huge.
helped a
Yes.
bit.
They
Yeah.
have to be excited as almost as passionate about this industry as I
Yeah,
am.
I would say that's
So
for me too.
I was really impressed, and you talked already, you mentioned process. How did you go about, as separate businesses, starting to invent a process that felt easy and delightful to you and also delivered something better for your clients? As far as, because two businesses that have their own business models, their own deliverables that happen at different times, it's probably not the first time either of you had worked with a graphic designer, or because that's going to happen during a website redesign or design, or Deena with you
Mhm,
designing for an output like a website.
mhm.
But was there something that you did, or that process wise you would offer to other people that might be thinking about using their superpowers to combine with someone else's superpowers and make a new business model?
I'm just gonna say that I am a more, like, fluid, um, not as systematic as Jenny. I'm trying to, like, be really nice to
Oh,
myself at the
such a
same
creative
time.
Deena.
Yeah, so I'm, like, a little more, like, creative out there, and Jenny it really has helped me to work with Jenny and partner with her on things, because I've seen, like, the process that she has for the website section has motivated me to have a more process version on my end, that just and then we work together to just have it feed into each other, and that's just
Mm,
conversations, and then figuring out what's working and what didn't work, and like where we want to improve. um, I think that that's been really valuable. Jenny and I have a really open um, like relationship where we can tell each other. That's another thing that's great about being like really, have the life coaching thing under our belt, is that we manage our own emotions. We can like speak up, but we're also really just kind and thoughtful people with each other,
I
and
would second
and
that.
want we
Yes.
want what's best for one another as well as ourselves. So we're willing to tell each other like what's not working and what is, and where we need to make improvements. But
Mhm.
Jennie has an amazing system for the way she does that. So it's been good to like share our talents and like things that can kind of come more
Mm.
naturally for personally, and like make a synergy for that's going to help other people. So
Yeah, and I would say when you're thinking about partnering with someone, like, just don't
mm.
overcomplicate it. I
Mm.
think that's my biggest
Ooh,
piece of
tell us more about
advice.
that. Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Well, for
Because I love
example,
making
when
things more
Deena and I
complex than they need to be.
Yeah, we all do. When Deena and I first For example, when Deena and I first thought about working together, we were like, "Okay, how do we, like, structure our business, and do we need to, like, actually partner as, like, an LLC, like, partnership, and how would that work?" And we were, like, getting pretty complicated about it, and
Mhm.
then one of our friends who knew better, he was like, "No, don't partner with each other, like, you don't need to do that. Just one of you is the contractor and the other one is like that one actually taking payment from the client, and then you pay them as the contractor, and it's simple, and then
Mm.
you maintain your autonomy, and like
It can
it's
be
not a big
easier than we
deal."
like to make it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So that's how we structured it, and that's how we still do it. Like, Dina's just I pay her as a contractor, and then the client pays me, and it's convenient for them. They just have to make, kind of one set of payments, and
Mhm.
then we take care of it on our end. And as far as our process goes, like how we work together, what we just did was we experimented with a couple of different things, but what we ended up landing on was just like, the website process is 6 weeks from start to finish. Let's just slot brand design in on week 2 and make it 7 weeks. And that's it. That's all that we need to
Oh
do.
my gosh.
So
So much
it
easier than
wasn't
we
like
wanna
a,
make it, right?
yeah, it didn't need to be fancy or complicated. And I mean, that process we
Mhm.
still use, that we
That's
landed
such
on.
good advice
So,
for other people too. Like you really can literally just say like, "How about we just do this? Let's try it. Oh, that worked. We don't need to make it any more complex." And I know that my ego would definitely get in the way a little bit there, and I'd have to be mindful of it. Just some things I already know about myself. It's like, well, the client signing with Jennie though, like, does that mean that like that's her client now? And like, should I also have them sign with me? Like, I have s I can absolutely see myself or other entrepreneurs, like, unintentionally getting into mind drama that doesn't even matter. No one cares. The
Yeah,
client, they just want that result,
right.
right?
That's what I was just
Everything
thinking.
else is just our own ego.
Yeah, if you can, what always helps me is keeping the client first of mind, and like what's going to be the easiest thing for them to get the result that they want. Why overcomplicate it with more meetings with me or anything like that?
Mm,
Like, let's just streamline it and keep it simple. And then, yeah, when it comes to the ego, I don't know. It's always fun to have the website be out there and know that I played a part in that and the overall design. I just I think there's so much room for a win-win-win, because we've got like me, Jennie, and the client. Aaron,
I
I'm
love
sure
that
that you
thought.
felt like it was a win for all three of us, and we love
It
when it feels
was,
like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and it just
Mhm.
seemed really easy, too. The process seemed really easy, and that's what I'm hearing you say as well, is that you can let it be easy.
Yeah. Mhm.
Our brains want to make things so much more complicated, but really it's just like, what's the client's experience? And then how are we individually putting money in our accounts? Okay, great.
Mhm. Yeah.
mhm.
Like it doesn't need to
Yeah.
be any more complicated than that,
Yeah.
really, in the end.
Exactly, exactly. And I actually had someone email me last week too, and I was telling Dina about this yesterday, and she was like, "Hey, I have an opportunity to partner with someone. She's a VA, a virtual
Mm,
assistant, and she has a designer that she's thinking about partnering with." And she was like, "How do you and Dina have it structured? Like, I want to make sure that everything's fair, and like as far as affiliate stuff or anything like that." And I just told her point blank, I was like, "Dina and I, as far like for our courses, like our, the stuff that isn't done for you, like of course we both have affiliate links, and we give them to whoever wants them, not just each other. But for our done for you services, like at this point, we don't actually have any kind of kickback that we give one or the other, simply because I don't know why we've never done it, Deena. We just don't
Yeah.
need to. Like it feels
Mhm.
fair how,
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
least for me, it
Same.
feels fair how it is now. And the intangibles, the intangible benefits of being able to work with
Mhm.
Deena,
Oh, tell me more about
like
that. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me more.
she says, she loves my process, and that's like something that really helps her and she enjoys working with. And I love being able to like when clients work with Deena, the end result of their website and the design process is just so much better.
Mm,
Like their website just looks
yep.
better, the client is happier. I kind of envision it like if I were a personal chef and my client wanted to buy their own
Mm.
ingredients, not with my preferred grocer,
I love this
the end
example.
result of the meal. I thought about this morning as I was like waking up. I'm like, I need to say this on the podcast. Like the end result of the meal is just not going to be the same. Whereas if I can bring the ingredients from my specialty grocer, or at least tell them where to go to buy the ingredients,
Mhm.
like the end result of that meal, they're just going to enjoy it so much more. It's going to be so much better for them. And I just see that as like Deena and my relationship. She makes the ingredients that I use to build the website just like so
Mm.
The best.
amazing.
It's
Thanks.
like
So
the best basil and the best like choice
mhm.
cuts of meat. Yes,
Love
all
that.
of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tina's gonna put that in her pocket.
So yeah, the intangible benefits you can't
Well,
deny.
let's talk a little bit about, because you started working together in a very specific way. Like, hey, some of these people need websites. They usually need design and branding at the same time. Deena was like, "Yeah, I design things for people, and they usually need a vehicle in order to show up on the web,
Mhm.
on the World Wide Web. So, how about we work together?" That totally makes sense. But what's amazing is you started doing something together, but you've allowed for things, other opportunities to bloom and blossom because of that, and other ideas to happen. Tell me a little bit about some of the courses and things that have come of this, individually and together, because you just took a leap and started working together.
Go ahead, Jenny. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, well, so I have a single course. I'm a one course gal, I think. Quote me on that. The course is called Website Kit for Coaches. And basically, what it teaches coaches to do is like, it's for the brand new coach who just, they're stuck on a website.
Hmm.
Like they're like, I want to have a website, even though they know they don't technically need one to launch their business. They're just kind of stuck on that.
Hmm.
And it's just like, all right, great. Like, buy this course. It's only $297. Go buy it, take it.
Which
It's
I
8
can't believe it's
modules.
only 297. We've talked about
I
this,
know.
Jenny.
Mhm.
Like,
We've talked about this.
I really feel strongly that for how high quality it is and easy it is, that she needs to
Well, so if
charge a
you're
lot
listening to
more.
this, if you're listening to this and you go to the sales page and it's more, you know who
You
to
know who to
blame.
blame. Just come for me, everybody.
Anyway, basically what it teaches them to do, it's everything from like here's how to pick your domain and buy it, all the way up to hitting launch on their one page brochure style, like
So
basically of
good.
a business card of a
Yeah.
website. And what
Yeah.
I guess I'll tell you how it ties in
Mhm.
with Dina's when she talks about hers. So I think it'll make more sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Do you want
Yeah.
to go,
How
Dina?
So
about you, Dina?
as I was doing all this branding for life coaches, I was doing a lot of the same content or like the same templates that I was creating, but of course, like
Oh,
customizing it.
deliverables,
Yeah, to the
right?
deliverables.
Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
And I found that people were coming to me and saying, like, I just need to change a little bit in my freebie, or, please, can I change that? So I started using Canva because it's a lot more accessible to people that don't have a,
For dummies like
yeah,
me.
that,
Yes, absolutely.
well, and it's a great platform and it just keeps getting better and better. So I started something called the Life Coaches Brand in a Box, where I've curated these beautiful collections, everything a life coach needs to get started with their branding. And I put that all in one place so they have access to all of these templates. They can have their logo and their color palette and all, they can have their freebie and worksheets and presentation slides and Instagram templates, Facebook ads, all of that is ready for
Oh
them to
my
go.
gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty
Hmm.
awesome. And I knew that the one missing piece, this is how I felt when I wanted to partner with Jennie, is the one missing piece was I'm not going to do websites, but I could show you kind of what it would look like if you did a website with this collection. Well, Jennie took that website mock-up that is in Canva, and Jennie has templates, website templates in her course that are they go along with the collections in Brand in a Box.
So they work with it. The puzzle pieces fit together,
Yeah.
and they can
Mhm.
separately be
Mhm.
something amazing, but
Mhm.
they fit together. They were designed to fit
Yeah.
together.
I feel like that's like
I
They
love
were.
that.
They're really sister
yeah,
courses.
they do really complement each other. And as we're talking about our partnership, I feel like that how we set up our courses is how we've set up our businesses too. Like there's this beautiful middle where they complement one another and work together. And that's what Jennie and I have done too in our businesses. So
Mhm. Yeah, and it's so beautiful. And of course, someone can buy just my course and get access to all of the website kits or the,
mhm,
the basically the
Mhm.
website templates that including the ones that match Deena's
mhm,
brand collections. Like they don't have to buy her course to get access to those, but that they have that style on their website. And in my course, I can just say, hey, do you want the rest of your online presence to
mhm,
Yeah.
match your website? Like go buy Deena's collection, like go buy Deena's course because then you'll just be all set,
yeah,
I just love the way that it feels, the way that you two have individually set up your businesses and your approach, then started working together and liked the way that felt. And then though by you two mixing your ideas and your energies, other things came out of that individually. And then because you knew you liked working together, you're like, oh, I'm doing this thing individually, but it also could work with the thing that my friend is doing,
mhm,
my colleague is
yeah,
doing. And it's so interesting to think how you might have this effect of like staying autonomous and being able to do your own thing,
mhm,
but then getting to work with someone that you respect and you appreciate and has some of the same kindred ideas and the way they want to deliver for their clients. I'm just wondering how many opportunities are out there for other entrepreneurs, other business owners in this industry and outside this industry that if they just cracked open the blinders a little bit
mhm,
and maybe tamped down some of that fear that is learned of if I give anyone access to my stuff, like it's a competition of me against everyone
mhm,
else. And if you just kind of go, well, if I could work with this amazing person, would that be better for my client? And also, could that lead to other things, kind of like what you've done, and spur other ideas for them to invent other things for their business as well as collaborate in other ways with that person? I like the idea of that economy existing a
mhm. I do
lot.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think partnerships are really where there's a lot of opportunity for not just growth in your business, but also um, increased contribution to your audience.
Mm.
Because, I mean, one of my favorite ways to market is, and anyone, I'm just saying this because anyone that knows me knows that this is true. Like, I really love being able to help other people's audiences. And that's kind of how I started my business. And so partnering is one way to really be able to do that and increase the size of the audience that you're able
Mhm,
to help. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And it's like we've talked about synergistically. It's making something and helping it grow at a faster pace by being in that service mindset. I love the idea as we go into this new year, especially that, and there is in the zeitgeist out there right now that we're hearing lots of messages, not that this is new, but it seems very acute to me right now, of fear and recession and opportunities are going to go away. And especially for entrepreneurs, this is going to be really hard and like buckle up for next year. And it's just like, yes, but also maybe if we learn to work together more, maybe there's more joy in that and more opportunities and more ease and less work.
mhm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna think about the fear part, how about the opposite of it? Where relationships like Deena and Jennie have created could lead to something that helps them individually grow their business and their bank account balance, but also helps them because of interacting with that other person and building that trust and being open to like, hey, how do we make it better? All this kind of stuff back and forth, that you will also individually have ideas for growing your individual businesses and also look for other opportunities to help each other.
Mhm.
How cool is that?
So cool.
I like that idea better.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I just think like we hear the word scarcity and abundance like a lot in our industry.
Mm,
But I think that when we're looking for ways that we can help build other people's businesses, um, and not being so worried about, like, keeping it for yourself, not
mm,
getting stuck in the comparison, but, like, how can we all help each other to, like, elevate, help our clients elevate, help our other businesses, of our friends and colleagues be elevated? How can we as individuals be elevated by learning how to open up and share, our ideas with other people? Like that's how I want my business to be. That's how I want to be. It just feels so much better too.
I agree. I think we should throw it out there as a challenge. Like, if you're listening to this right now, I bet that if you sat in a chair or just go to a corner, a peaceful corner, and think, close your eyes and think for 5 minutes of people you admire that are somehow in your industry or parallel to it and serve the same audience that you would love to work with. Maybe just a few names. Maybe only a couple will pop to mind, but someone will pop to mind. Maybe think about having a conversation with them
Hmm.
and seeing if there's something that you could do together that would serve both of your audiences at a higher level than you are individually right now.
Hmm.
Maybe just have a conversation, entertain the idea. You never know where it might lead. It could lead to something amazing, like the way that you two have had your businesses grow together separately and together.
Yeah.
Um, I know that everyone that's listening to this has gotten a lot out of this.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, both of you, Deena and Jennie, for your time today.
Yes.
Could you
Thanks for
tell us
having us.
how can people? I know people are going to fall in love with you individually and together after listening to this. So can you please let us know, Deena? We'll start with you. Like, how can someone contact you or Jennie? And I know you have each other's phone number, so if you reach out to one of them, they'll probably let the other one know. So,
Yes.
Deena, how can people work with you right now?
Okay, so if you go to my website, it's deenarutter.com, and I'm sure you're going to link this in your show notes, but it's
I am.
DEENARUTTER. And there's different ways to work with me. If my brand in a box courses on there, as well as other ways to work with me. If I'm just going to say this as I pass it over to Jennie, but if you want a website, and you want us to work together, Jennie has a very systematic way to, an inquiry form, and I'm going to let Jennie tell you about that, because that's the best way to work with us combo. And I always see the inquiries come in, so yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I have 2 ways to work with me, that I've already kind of touched on. The first is if you're a brand new coach and you just wanna get some like a simple website presence, and I say simple website presence because that's literally the words that people have told me, "I want a simple website presence."
Hmm.
Um, then I have my course, Website Kit for Coaches, that's really accessibly priced, and not only do you get the course, but you also get support from me in a peer support Facebook group, and I literally am, like, recording looms and stuff in there for people 'cause it's so great. So, you're gonna be able to get your site up and running in just, like, 1 weekend, basically.
Wow.
And if you are an experienced coach and you either have a website that it just isn't working for you and you wanna up-level it, or you just are ready to really go all in and pay someone to do a custom build for you, then, you can work with me and Deena jointly to do website and brand design, or you can work with either of us, individually as well. And I do if you wanna work with us together or work with me, I have an inquiry form on my site. If you go to, my site, it's just jennielakenan.com, and I'm not gonna bother spelling it because it's weird, so I'll just let Erin put it in the show notes.
Don't worry, everybody.
Um
I got you. Just look at the show notes.
And if you go to my site, then, and click on work with me, you'll find that form and you'll get into our process and we will take good
Mhm.
care of
And it's a
you.
delightful process. I get emails from both of you, and I unsubscribe from lists at the drop of a hat if I don't like them. And both of you definitely make the cut.
Mm.
Always useful content, always things for me to be thinking about for growing my business, little things in order to help me with my branding, like actionable, useful information. So you'll
Great.
like being on their list, is all I'm saying.
Thanks, Erin.
Um, Thank you so much, both of you, for being here.
So great.
So appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Have a
So fun.
wonderful week.
Yeah, you too.